What's up, peeps? Julian Williams here at The Distance. Got a video for you guys this evening. So it's been a while. It's been like, what, 3 months now since the last time I made a video. And the last video I made was Canelo Alvarez versus Austin Trout prediction, where I was off. So anyway, 3 months later, I'm back. I'm back for good. How many times have I said that? I don't know how many, but I'm back for good. I mean, I've had a lot of things in my personal life I need to get sorted out, work, health, just other things. So I just haven't had much time on my hands to, really make videos to sit down and give a quality video. I mean, what a lot of people know is I do a lot of the stuff off the top of my head. And then, when I began my other job about a year ago, when I began my new job, it became very time consuming, and I also got extremely sick to the point to where I just never had made videos. I'm still, regaining my health, but I'm at a point now where I feel great, working to get back to where I once was. I put on some weight due to my health issues and not being able to work out. I lost use of my knee, my right knee, where I've had trouble walking and running, and my hip has been bothering me. So so just overall, it's been a struggle for the last year. And then not only that, there's the power struggle between myself and YouTube, who does not like the fact that I use clips of other boxing matches. Of course, I'm looking at some fucking commercial right now, some random stuff that I don't understand the language or anything. This is actually a Chris John fight based out in Indonesia. This is his first fight against Jose Rojas. So, and no, I'm not streaming it or anything. This is actually a DVD that I have. I was watching the fight. I decided to randomly make a video these days because, I usually come and go as I please, and I think I need to stop doing that. So I'm going back to doing videos on a very consistent basis. You might get one. I mean, you're not gonna get one from me every single day, but I would say I'm going to really try to go to once a week. So this fight, I know I'm gonna be a bit rusty on this one, but the fight I'm going to predict right now is David Price versus Tony Thompson, the rematch. And it seems to me that, I don't know if it's just me, but it's always like the first week of July, there's some type of heavyweight showdown. I know, odd, right? Or like a couple years ago, you had David Haye, Vladimir Klitschko, and then a couple years before you had Eddie Chambers versus that guy. Don't remember his name. But overall, this is a good fight, I think. It's a very intriguing rematch. There's a lot of people, who follow me know I'm a big fan of David Price. I looked like an ass when I said that Thompson was going to get his ass whipped on Twitter at Julian W. the Great. But overall, it's going to be interesting to see how he comes back from the loss, of course. Because I think, of course, what makes a champion is, how they come back from a loss. And really it's going to come down to preparation, which is going to have to prepare David Price mentally for this fight. I mean, he's stepping directly back into the ring against Tony Thompson, directly, and I respect him for that, but I don't think that was the best decision to make. I mean, Tony Thompson, of course, is a rugged competitor. Don't get me wrong, but I think that with a fighter like David Price, it's quite the layoff. About 5 months from the fight, I think Frank Maloney, if he still is promoted, should have put him in the ring with a few other heavyweights to kind of gain his confidence back instead of just throwing him in the ring right away. Similar to after when Lennox Lewis lost to Oliver McCall back in '94. He put him in the ring. He put him in there with guys that he knew he could beat. And then there's the Ray Mercer fight. But the thing is, David Price has to come in. He has to be comfortable coming into this fight. So more to him if coming in and facing him right away. It was a nice little overhand right there. But anyway, so we're going to this fight. You have two tall heavyweights. David Price is known for putting guys on their back. With with solid shots. What he cannot do in this fight against Tony Thompson, he cannot. What's this? He cannot square up with him. He has to use his size and use his legs to create his openings. He has to jab from those angles that he creates. He has to. The thing is, he has to throw the jab before he does anything else. Jab before he moves. Jab before he throws his power shot. He cannot square up with Tony Thompson. See, that's what happened last time, and he got caught. He has to use his jab, use his size, use his legs, and also the size of the ring can be important. I noticed that in David Price fights, the ring has been noticeably smaller, which means that he can get to his opponent a little bit easier. The hell is this? But it's killing my train of thought. But he gets to his fight easier in a smaller ring. In a bigger ring, I think that he's gonna have to box more if it's a bigger ring. He'll have to box more. He can't, pull straight back out, like he did in the last fight. He has to utilize that jab. The jab is gonna be his weapon in this fight. He has to jab him. He has to jab. He has to move. He has to create his openings off that jab. He has to fight tall. Even though Tony Thompson, I believe, is 6'7", 6'6", he's just as tall. He's just as tall. But that one reckless mistake when he was, stepping back and his hands were down, showing that this dude does not have a chin, and he can be hit. So in this particular fight, it's all fundamentals with this fight. Price is a strong fighter. He has a powerful right hand. He has a powerful jab. If he hits Tony Thompson with enough jabs, the right hand's gonna come later on. But he can't go in and rush and go for the knockout. He has to let it come to him against a veteran like a Tony Thompson. He has to let it come to him. He can't go for it. He's facing a veteran. This dude's been in the ring with the best heavyweight in the world, Vladimir Klitschko, twice. He might have lost to him twice, but he has experience. He has rounds. So this fight, David Price needs to go in and get some rounds. David Price is used to going in and knocking fighters out early. Tom Dallas, John McDermott, Audley Harrison. He can go in there and he could pummel a fighter and put him down, right away. This one he has to go in. He has to get some. He has to go in. He's gonna have to get some hard fought rounds. When a fighter gets some rounds in, they learn a little more. They learn how to make adjustments. They learn, whether or not they need to throw their punches a little bit shorter, or if they need to put a little more, intensity in the jab or a little more intensity in the right hand. So, anyway, I've emphasized enough on David Price. On the other hand, for Tony Thompson is, I would say that he is a rugged veteran. Now, he does have a couple knockout losses. He might have more. I don't look at BoxRec. He might have a couple more, but Tony Thompson has shown that he can be vulnerable to a jab if it's thrown correctly. Now, on the other hand, what Tony Thompson may want to do in this fight is just bum rush. David Price. Step in, throw his right hand. Swing for the fences. He's going to have to get David Price again early so that, and make him uncomfortable early. He does have the mental edge. He does have the edge and experience. He does have that edge on him. He's already defeated him by knockout. And there goes this commercial again. He's already defeated him by knockout. So in this fight, I honestly believe that he needs to go in there and he needs to throw he needs to continuously throw lead right hands. He needs to go in and he needs to attack David Price and not let David Price dictate the pace of the fight. He has to go in, throw a right hand, and basically he might have to try to fight on the inside as well, rough him up inside. I think that Tony Thompson does have a strong chance to win because he has that mental edge. He does have that first victory, and it is David Price's first fight back after facing a Tony Thompson. I mean, his confidence is at an all-time high right now. He came in out of shape and faced David Price, and he knocked him out in 2 rounds. So he has that edge on him. But what Tony Thompson has to do different, of course, he definitely does not want to be a body. He wants to go in there, he wants to go for the KO early. I mean, because with a fighter with David Price's power, I wouldn't want to take the gamble of being in the ring later in the fight with him. Where there's that unpredictability to where Thompson can be knocked out. So and also I've noticed this in Tony Thompson fights, all the fights I've seen with him, and I've seen a few fights with Tony Thompson. I've noticed that he can start off strong, but then he'll kind of fade. He'll kind of get bored. He'll get bored. He'll fade. He'll make a mistake here and there, and the mistake here and there will cost him. So after all the emphasis on fight strategies, I would actually have to go with David Price to win this fight. I mean, I understand Tony Thompson does have the mental edge. I'm sure I haven't looked at any of the information regarding the weigh-in or anything. I don't know how he looked at the weigh-in. I don't know if he still looks soft or whatever. But I think that David Price has a lot more to lose than Tony Thompson. David Price definitely does not want to go back to square one with this fight. Especially being a highly talented prospect, and he's almost 30. He will be 30 years old tomorrow. So he has to win this fight in a heavyweight division that's slowly on the rise. In a heavyweight division that's getting a lot more talent, and that talent pool is not going to be as shallow anymore. So I'm going with David Price to win this fight. I think he's going to go in. He's going to get some rounds in. He's probably more likely he will fight a different fight. I think David Price will win the fight by a knockout in round. I said on Twitter in 5 rounds. I'm thinking now more so 8 rounds. So David Price KO round 8. Let me know what you think. That was the distance. Thanks for watching. I'm out of here.